Hello, how the tech are you? This is our weekly tech show on Echoplex Media. We are doing the good fight against robots and bringing it back to humanity and not buying any social media like it seems like everybody else is doing. But what we really are doing, I'm historian Matt, and we talk about tech stuff on this show. I talk about specifically tech news and science news and anything else I feel like talking about. This week, I only have two topics. The first one is, you've heard of the goat. Now this is the boat. What does that mean? I'll get into that later. And my second topic is, finally humans take jobs back from robots. HK is still out on an adventure. I feel like he's going to be out for a little while still. We'll see. So Dave, what do you got?
So I got Kanye West is buying the alternative social media platform Parler, and I got G4 TV is being shut down again.
Having fun with those wipes, I see.
We got the best wipes.
So back to my first topic. You've heard of the goat. Now this is the boat. What am I talking about? Well, in the morning of October 9th, gamma ray detectors picked up the most powerful gamma ray burst ever detected. It's being dubbed the boat, as in the brightest of all time. Which I thought was a funny name, but interesting science news. It's likely a sign of the birth of a new black hole. The origin of the burst is much closer than other bursts we've detected in the past, but it is also still the most energetic and luminous. So, I mean, it's a big burst and it's close. So, pretty bright one. The first gamma ray bursts were detected back in the 1960s when we were sending up satellites to detect gamma rays that would be a sign of nuclear explosions, or basically nuclear weapons tests. And in July 1967, two satellites picked up bursts of gamma radiation that clearly did not originate from a nuclear weapon test. Later bursts were detected by better equipment and were determined to be outside the origin of the solar system. And thus we found out about gamma ray bursts for the first time. Since then, we've detected a bunch of gamma ray bursts, and apparently this one, the boat, the brightest of all time, is the brightest gamma ray burst we have ever detected since we first started detecting them. There are two classes of gamma ray bursts. There are long bursts that last more than 2 seconds, and these are likely caused by deaths of massive stars, so massive stars collapsing into themselves, and either turn into neutron stars or black holes. Or apparently they're magnetars now, or I think is a special form of black hole. I don't know. I'm not that good at space science, so we'll have to get an astrophysicist to tell us more later, or astronomer to tell us more. But the boat is likely one of these long bursts, so it's probably a collapse of a star into a black hole, as I said previously. The second type are short bursts. This is not what the boat is, but they're, of course, bursts that last less than 2 seconds or less, and are likely a merger between two neutron stars or a neutron star and a black hole. So that's pretty interesting science news. I thought it was something we should talk about. It's kind of driving the astronomy, astrophysicist community crazy. So what do you think, Dave?
It's bright.
It's bright. Yeah. Well, it's not really because you don't see it with your naked eye, but yeah, for astronomers it's really, really bright.
Yeah, I used to like really be into space stuff when I was a kid. Now I just don't like really follow any of it. So it's kind of interesting to hear about it, but yeah, I don't even know enough about the subject matter to really ask any questions or like contribute anything here, I don't think.
Yeah. Fair enough. I think I forgot to mention, I want to cover that real quick. Even though I said the burst was like closer than most of the other ones we've observed in the past, it's still outside the galaxy. So it's in a distant galaxy. And which is a good thing, because if there was ever a gamma ray burst that originated inside our galaxy and actually pointed at us, these things are directional often. I think they're always directional. But if it was like inside our galaxy and actually pointed at Earth, like we'd all be dead. Like they're really, really dangerous in that respect. But luckily they're not that common, and they don't commonly are pointed at us. So that's good. All right, I'll go on to my second topic. Is a fun one, since we've been talking about AIs, basically talking about them taking over jobs in other fields. This one is this topic is finally humans take jobs back from the robots. But this is from FedEx. They have abandoned their last mile delivery robot program. So FedEx have partnered with DECA Research and Development Corp to develop these robots for last mile delivery. The program ended in early October, and it was likely canceled due to costs. So the bot weighed about 450 pounds, which seemed pretty heavy to me, but probably has to have a big battery. So that's probably where a lot of the weight comes from. Anyways, it had a carrying capacity of about 100 pounds and could navigate sidewalks and roadsides, climb curbs, and could even go up some stairs. They had to be stairs that it seemed like had to be wide enough for the bot to actually fit on each step. But it could actually deliver packages directly to some customers' doors. And last mile bot delivery, but it looks like it was just too expensive to do it that way. And FedEx is going back to humans delivering packages everywhere. What do you think?
It seems highly inefficient. It can only carry 100 pounds of stuff.
Yeah, but I was thinking about that, but I guess it depends on how far it's going, but delivery people don't carry 100 pounds of stuff to your door usually, right? Occasionally they do. I have had stuff that weighs 100 pounds or more delivered to my place, to my door at some point. But my question would be basically, are these coming from a FedEx center and driving out, or in which case it didn't seem like that would be very efficient, but or are they coming from like a delivery van and they're just going to the actual doors from there, kind of thing? Then 100 pounds made sense.
Right, but
Not
then,
exactly
but
last
then
mile.
The delivery van, instead of being loaded down with packages, is loaded down with 450-pound robots.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like I can't imagine a way in which this could be efficient.
I don't know. I mean, it would probably have to be only in densely populated areas. So where I'm at, it definitely would not be efficient. But in maybe New York, for definitely. I mean, that would have to be dense enough, right? For if it was going to work, then it could just like drive down the road from a FedEx center or something and deliver stuff in a couple mile radius from there, I guess. I guess you also have the problem of these bots flying, zooming around, and people know that there might be expensive things in them, right? It might become a target.
It also looks small, so maybe it doesn't even matter so much the weight, is like how much volume of packages.
Yeah.
Because like it looks like you could fit four boxes in the thing.
Yeah.
Like
I was expecting it to look like the Boston Dynamics like dog thing,
That thing's terrifying. I don't think that's a good look for somebody like FedEx to have a terrifying like killer robot. But I'd be more impressed.
Yeah. Well, then it would definitely be able to go upstairs. Right.
It definitely could go upstairs, and like if you're not ready when it comes to pick up your package, it could just bust your door down.
Yeah, that's right.
Come in and get the package. Yeah, this looks like a bad idea. It's like, of course this didn't work. Like the way FedEx works, even in like a big city, is there's just a truck full of stuff.
Yeah.
It's like very, very full of a lot of things. And the driver drives and then drops the stuff off and then comes back to the truck where there's still like a lot more stuff.
Right.
This is like, I don't even like how these robots, they have to be expensive. And then they could, okay, 100 pounds. So I don't know. I guess if it's like a bunch of iPhones, maybe, but then like how much is, then if somebody kicks over the robot and takes all the iPhones,
Right.
like,
Yeah. I mean, people won't know what's in them, but they might know that might be something potentially good inside. Of course, they're going to have cameras all over them. So if they do, it'll be caught on camera.
there are certain dates when certain items are known to be arriving.
That's true.
So yeah, this is stupid. Until like a few of these can drive a truck, like a big truck.
Yeah.
And
Right.
yeah, it just looks dumb. I think of course it didn't work.
Yeah.
Like I can't. So the two ways, one would be they leave the FedEx center, but then they can only fit a couple packages. So they drop them back off, and they go back to the FedEx center, get loaded up, and they keep going back and forth. Just seems like very slow. And the other way would be like, sure, load up a FedEx truck with these things. But like I said, now instead of the weight that the FedEx truck would be like the maximum weight of packages, now it's just a bunch of these 450-pound robots.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking like you'd have a truck and then maybe it has a few of these things. And basically the delivery guy just, when he gets to a spot near a number of drop-off locations, he just, fills up a couple of them and send them off to deliver. So he's basically delivering multiple at the same time. That could kind of work, but don't know if it's worth it again.
But then the delivery person is spending their time like filling up the robot with package, like,
yeah.
And then how does the robot know where to take the pack? Like, I mean, maybe it scans them, but then like, what if you give the robot the wrong packages and then the robot has to go all the way over there, then comes back, drives by you, like, hello, and then goes all the way the other way.
Right. Right.
Like
they could have all sorts of problems.
I just don't see a way in which this is efficient unless the robot is big. But then if the robot's really big, then it can't really go anywhere.
Right.
And then like in a place like New York City, like, does it have a way to like press the elevator button?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it can't go upstairs, right? I don't know if it can go. It didn't say anything about elevators, but I'm guessing it can't. I don't think it can.
Well, it can't
doesn't
summon.
look like it has arms to press buttons.
Yeah, it can't summon the elevator or pick a floor. I can't imagine.
Yeah.
It's showing it on what appears to be like a golf course. In
It does
this
look like a
image
golf
here,
course. Yeah.
I mean, I guess you could deliver things to people on a golf course with this. I don't know. Can it even carry golf clubs?
I don't think so.
Well, and it can't be repurposed as a caddy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I guess there's other companies like Amazon had their drone delivery thing. I don't think that I know they were testing it, but I don't think they even had it like delivering anything serious. Google had their Wing project, which at least kind of like found a niche where it made sense, where it was delivering medicine to places that were very remote, right? So it made sense to fly stuff over there and just drop them off. There's a couple other companies doing something similar to that.
Yeah, and I mean, we've used helicopters in the past for that. So that like makes sense because the drones it's just a helicopter, right?
Yeah, well, I think Google's Wing is actually like an RC plane, basically, and it doesn't actually stop to drop stuff off. It like basically bombs the people with their medicine,
right,
drops it off with parachutes, and it floats down. Which makes a lot of sense.
That's been a delivery method in remote areas or in emergencies for a very long time.
Yep.
This isn't going to remote areas or emergencies. I mean, it was a neat project, and maybe they like the robotics team like learned something, and like they learned that this was a bad use case for the robot. Like,
that's okay. Elon Musk is just gonna suggest we all use pneumatic tubes to deliver stuff. Call it hyper delivery or something. I don't know.
Hypertube.
Hypertube.
like an old TV shows or movies when the office is those big office buildings would have them, if you remember.
Right.
Or the bank back in the day would have them when I was a kid, and you'd get like you get a little tube with like maybe mom would get her money and I'd get a lollipop or something.
Yeah. I think they still have them at banks where you go through the drive-through.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. I think they should just do that in the cities instead of robots, but maybe put somebody besides Elon Musk in charge of it.
Yeah. I mean, that has been suggested in the past there's problems with it.
I believe it has been satirized in the movie Brazil.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Also did like something, well, they kind of made more fun of what would become Hyperloop in Futurama, right? They have the ones that pneumatic tubes for people.
Yeah, I don't recall, but where it was just for people. Yeah. And it was, that was pretty funny, actually. I'd go for a ride on one of those things.
Yeah.
I'd go for a ride. So I guess it's my turn now.
Yes, it is. What do you got?
So this week I got, so I tried to, like, on the other shows, I've just avoided this thing with Kanye, except for like the other people's reaction to it. I was able to feel comfortable enough playing, but apparently, I mean, he's now the artist formerly known as Kanye West. I think he thinks he's Prince. He's buying Parler apparently. He had his
changed his name. He's changed his name to Ye.
That's right.
Right.
Ye.
Yeah, okay.
After having his Twitter account locked for saying massively anti-Semitic stuff, Kanye announced that he's buying Parler. Parler has about 40,000 active daily users. It's unclear how much Parler is being sold for, and Kanye's estimated worth is about $2 billion. So Parler ain't worth that much, is it? But
no,
like an individual who's worth $2 billion can buy it. $2 billion ain't like it's not a lot of money, but for like a social network, that's like not a very valuable asset.
Yeah, I'm guessing he's not going to even spend much of his apparent $2 billion net worth, right? It's probably, my guess is at most 100 million, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was more like 10 million, right? 40,000 people, you'd think it'd be like $1 million company.
Yeah, they've so far in like funding, they've raised $54 million. Parler has.
Okay, yeah.
And that's not that much. That sounds like Peter Thiel didn't even get involved, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't know why he's doing it. It seems like it's a distressed asset before he even sets his fingers on it. Because I don't know if you've been on there, Matt. It's a disaster. Parler is not only is like nobody wants to be there because of the kinds of things that are there, but it's fine that nobody wants to be there because no one goes there. It doesn't always work.
Oh, I mean, so is it it's like a Twitter replacement?
It's like exactly a Twitter clone.
Twitter clone. Yeah. Only conservative.
Right.
So, and they probably have absolutely no moderation whatsoever. Right.
Oh, that's not true.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's easy to get kicked off a Parler.
Just support some liberal.
Well, it's not really so much like that. It's about, because it's such a small ecosystem, basically if you upset the right or wrong individual on there and the right or wrong individual reports that you've upset them, they'll kick you off.
Yeah.
So I imagine that's how it's going to be once Kanye buys it too. If you piss off one of Kanye's friends, you're just going to get kicked off with Parler. Like, and I think that's what Elon Musk is generally going to do with Twitter. Maybe not for small, like low profile people, but high profile critics of him are they'll probably find reasons to kick him off. I just don't understand this. I mean, I don't understand like why anybody would buy Parler.
Well, I mean, I'm thinking it's because he just got kicked off of Twitter and this is how he's dealing with it. Like, well, I'm just going to buy my own social network. And it's going to be the best.
It's just cope.
Yeah.
It's just cope. Yeah. Well, I mean, I think I'd be surprised if they get, the 50 million was invested. I'd be surprised if they are able to sell it for that much. I think you might be right at your like $10 million dollar estimate. I don't know. Like, do they have employees? Is there just like one systems administrator holding that thing together, and that's why it goes down sometimes? Is there?
Well, if you think about it, so if Kanye West is worth $2 billion, if he spends 20 million on this, 20 million, not more than 10 million, that's 1% of his net worth. That's something he could easily spend on it.
Yeah, it's almost like he's, I don't know, buying it because he's mad.
Yeah.
It's cope.
It's cope.
It's cope. Well, like whatever. I mean, I don't know. I'd say I wish him the best, but some of the things he was saying about Jewish people this last week, I do not wish him the best.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. So that's that. My next story is G4 TV is being shut down yet again. Comcast sort of kind of owned it or whatever. And I just remember back in the day watching Tech TV, and then Tech TV got kind of bad when it merged with G4 TV. And then G4 TV got much worse when it became Spike TV. And they tried to bring G4 back as like a gaming network, and it didn't really work. And I mean, I have some opinions on it. One, I think that they could have done a lot better if they would have done it on Twitch and YouTube exclusively, done it on a lower budget, seen how it went first before they tried to put it on TV, but they put it on cable TV where none of their audience is. And so I think that's like one of the major problems that they had. It would have been a great Twitch channel, but they didn't do it as a Twitch channel. I think it would have been a very cool Twitch channel, like would have been nostalgic. People would have kind of thought it was cool, but nope, they put it on TV, I guess, and now it's not on TV anymore. Do you remember G4 from when you were younger? You remember watching it at all?
I'm trying to remember. I don't remember it actually. I don't know.
Did you ever watch Leo's network, Tech TV?
I never watched it regularly. I did, however, my dad listens to the podcast like all the time, right?
I listen to some of Leo's podcasts too, yeah.
Yeah. So oftentimes when I'm riding with him in the car, he'll have that on, and it's interesting. I mean, it's not the type of tech stuff that I generally pay attention to. I guess I do more now than I used to.
I listen to This Week in Tech. It's their like weekly roundup show. But the other stuff on there, I'm not that like all about Android. I don't care. Like, does my phone still work? Yay. Yeah. You know, they have the one about Google. I'm like, well, I just have to use their services. They have one about Apple. They have one about Windows. They have
right,
and they have like a network enterprise one that I don't listen to. But G4 was about gaming, and they just made a huge mistake by trying to put it on TV where their audience is not.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's not what the article on The Verge says, I don't think, but that's like my take, is that they could have started small with just a couple of the core personalities from back in the day, leaned hard on the nostalgia and done it on Twitch, maybe even partnered with Twitch in some way.
Yeah.
To like kind of try to get the ball rolling on it. But instead they put it on TV, I guess, which is dumb.
I heard there's some problems working with Twitch, but I think it's just normal stuff for streaming companies, I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
somebody was complaining about I guess you can get banned off of Twitch, but how or suspended versus banned is confusing, you know, sometimes.
Yeah, but I mean,
fairly lenient.
They're not gonna get G4 isn't gonna put anything on there.
That's true. Yeah.
On their channel that's going to get them kicked off of Twitch, right?
Right.
If they weren't going to get kicked off of Comcast, they're certainly not going to get kicked off of Twitch. Or they could have done YouTube. You know what I'm saying? It didn't have to necessarily be Twitch.
Right.
They could have done like their shows live on YouTube. But yeah, they just, I don't know, I think they tried to lean too hard into the nostalgia by putting it on cable TV, or maybe, you know, because Comcast was involved. Viewership is low and has not achieved any financial results. Well, yeah, because they put everything together like it was a TV network, and they didn't know what was going to happen. They could have gone way smaller, and it could have been so cool. I think it wouldn't have been like a big moneymaker or whatever, but a few people wouldn't have lost their jobs.
Yeah.
Like all these people that got on this, they lost their jobs.
True.
Well, whatever.
Maybe they can transition over to Twitch.
Yeah. I don't care that much. I don't care that much about gaming, but I do like remember Tech TV rather fondly. And I remember when the merger happened, and I don't know, when I heard about this, I was kind of rooting for it, but it occurred to me when it happened that I don't know why they put it on TV.
Yeah.
Dumb. People are fleeing cable TV. They could have done like a Roku exclusive or like an Apple TV. There were all kind of places they could have put it on Netflix. They could have put it YouTube exclusive, Twitch exclusive. They could have even tried to put it on Facebook.
Yep, true.
Maybe they could partner with Parler.
Wait, I got a question for you. Do you have cable? Because I do not.
I do not have cable.
Yeah. And I mean, we're even like the nostalgia people, right? Like we're the age group for that.
Right. And we're the age. Yeah. Probably the oldest age group that's generally cord cutting is people in their 40s.
Yeah.
Or who are cord cutting en masse. And yeah, they just, I don't know why. I have no idea why they tried to do it like on TV.
Don't know.
People into video games tend not to be the cable subscribers.
Yeah.
They just tend not to be. Anyway, that's the show. I think I'll read us out this week if that's all right.
It's your turn. Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, that's been How the Tech Are You? It's our tech news show on Echoplex Media. The tagline is not just a Linux show, and we barely even talk about Linux at all, so I'll have to start thinking about a new tagline, although it's kind of funny. You can find everything about us on our website, echoplexmedia.com. You can find our live shows at twitch.tv/echoplexmedia. And other links about us will be in the show notes. Thanks for listening this week.